Good evening, this is Amal Alhidi from the Sultanate of Oman. Today we are going to discuss a very important issue, so if you are interested to know about it, just stick to us. Before we discuss or talk about strategic management, let us say that planning is a very important thing to every person, whether this person want to plan for his life, for his education, or whether it is an agency, whether it is an authority, or even if we want to talk about countries. Planning is a very important part of our life. If we want to explain or define the meaning of strategic management, or let us say planning, we say planning, it is about process of drawing goals that are intended to be reached within a specific time using resources. These are whether these resources was human resources or financial resources, and a better way in order to reach our goals in that specific time or by the end of that specific time, by reducing cost and effort and increasing productivity. If we want to get indeed talking about strategic management, let us take an example from the civil aviation. Let us say that the civil aviation, for example, authority is the place where set rules for all air transportation companies. Yet, and above on the top of this authority, there will be the Ministry of Transportation, and under the authority which is responsible for the civil aviation, let us say there will be a different administration which set rules or will be responsible for each part of the aviation service. Let us say it's about safety, or whether it is about human resource, or whether it is about financial support and this kind of issue. So under these administration, there will be department and smaller employee or staff which are responsible to do a certain kind of work using a certain amount of money in order to achieve the long-term plan, or let us say the long-term strategic management plan. Also, it is worth mentioning that there are three things which are supposed to be put in mind while setting any strategic management plan or any strategic plan within 5 years or within 4 quarters. When we are planning the small plans or the small goals for a year, we're gonna say there are gonna be 4 quarters, and after 4 quarters, each administration or authority or ministry about or have or must to revise its work and reduce all the costs which are not necessary, and also try to determine the best way in order to reach these small goals using less effort, less money, and less people, of course. Now let us get back to the three things which I mentioned earlier, in which the organization have to bear in mind when setting any strategic plan. Let us start with the vision. The vision, it is the final goal in which any organization want to reach, or the final goal in which any organization want to accomplish. But as the mission is the process in which the organization do in order to reach that mission. So it is the small or the short plans. It is all the work, all the resources which are being utilized in order to reach the long-term goals or the final destination, or let us say the vision of the organization. There are a lot of also the third one is, let us say, it is the value. The value is the very important things in which every organization have to take care of in order to make the process of the setting of this goal or doing or achieving these goals have to consider them while doing this process. Let us say, for example, one of the values is all the decision in which the organization do it, whether it is a high level of the authority or the small level or the operational level of the authority in order to do. It is also about all the way of treating each other. Let us say talk about the personnel or talking about the high level of the authority, the CEO or the stockholders or the employee, and how much they are involved in or interacting with each other, or and how much they are they set their goals clearly so that everyone in that organization know what is his duties or responsible in order to achieve the final goals. So it is very important for any organization to consider the three pillars of any work or of any plan, of any strategic plan during the 5 years or more. So let us say, or let us repeat them again: vision, or the final destination in which the company or the organization or the authority, whether it is a private or whether it is a public or whether it is a government sector. So it is very important to set a vision or the final destination in which any organization want to accomplish its goals. And also we said values. It is very important. It's all about all the action within that organization in which will be considered among the people who are working in these goals in long term or in short term in order to achieve them, and the way they interact with each other. Let us say the other thing is the mission. It is about the things which the organization is doing currently and in short term in order, or in 4 quarters in order to achieve the plans, the small plans in order to reach the long-term plans, and finally reach the final goals of the strategic plan in order to find also or to reach also the vision of the company, considering all things around them, whether it is in internal level or whether it is about external them. An example for that, using the measurement of KPIs. The measurement of KPIs is very important to revise any work, whether it is in short term or whether in the long term. Using the KPIs will make sure that each person within that organization is able to achieve the goal or able to work professionally or efficiently in order to achieve the goals, whether they are short or whether they are long. So we know who are working well, and we will keep trying to encourage them, and also knowing who are a bit slow or wasting a lot of money or cost the company or the organization a lot of money, and they needed to be to be informed that they have to change their strategies or their kind of work. Also, let us now ask ourselves this question: is there any advantages for strategic management? The answer for this question is, of course, yes. Every person needs a plan in order to continue and know how to do in this world. As an example is the small kid. Before we start our school, every parents know that he wants or she wants their kids to be to reach a certain level of education in order to reach, for example, a college, or to reach a certain kind of jobs when they get older. So strategic management or planning is a very important issue. So they will make sure that their kids will study in a certain way, or they will get them in a certain school in order to get to achieve their final vision or to achieve their final goal. So it is the same. Strategic planning for any organization is very important. Why is that? Let us see now. Every organization knows that there is a lot of advantages for strategic planning. Okay, let us say it's very important to clarify the direction of the organization, and it is very important to identify its vision. Nowadays there are a lot of changes around us in the world, so every organization, whether it is work in education, in aviation, in military, in whatever it is, there have to be strategic planning according to these changes around us. Okay, so very important to set early plans or strategic plan in order to offer these companies or these organization a resource, a very important resource in the country, or which affect the economic of any country in a positive way. Is there any constraints that sometimes stop or affects the strategic planning in negative way? Yes, of course. There are advantages and also there are disadvantages for or constraints that sometimes stop or affect strategic planning. For example, the budget can be an example. The budget can be an example of these constraints. Also, the manpower constraint. Is there any constraint that will hold or affect or slow down achieving the goals of the strategic planning? Of course, there are some constraints will affect the work of any organization. The unclarity of the vision in that organization can negatively affect the work or the setting of the plan, of the strategic plan of that country. Also, the uncooperation between the people within the same organization, or whether it is internal or external, can also affect the work of any organization. The policies, a lot of policies which are not clear can affect also the clarity or setting any clear, easy strategic plan. Also, not involving the people within the organization, whether they are in small level or in higher position, in setting the plans or the work, can affect negatively also the strategic plan. And also, if we want to talk about the measures, if there is no measure to determine what's going wrong, like if we didn't use the KPIs, for example, which will be difficult for any organization to know what went wrong and where, and who did the mistake. So who will be responsible? Any small thing which will be missed, it can affect setting a good plan or a good strategic plan, and affects its work and affects its vision at the end, or reaching it at the end. So these all what we have today talking about strategic management or strategic planning. I hope that you get benefit of it. If you like what you hear, I hope that you share it with your friends and anybody who want to know more about strategic management. See you.